Welcome to another exciting episode of In Depth and Out Loud with me, Dubbz. Today, joining me, somebody so special. I'm so excited. Vocalist, songwriter. You must have seen her on Idols. And she's recently just dropped a new single, Risk, which is absolutely amazing. Her name is Shekhinah. So if you are a student that is interested in pursuing a career in music, well, today we're going to be chatting all things arts and music industry and how to establish yourself in the music industry. Shekhinah.
How are you?
I'm good. Thank you so much for coming through.
Thank you for having me.
I'm so excited.
This reminds me of my college.
Does it?
Yeah, it does.
It gives you that vibe.
Literally, except more organized. I'm joking. You guys are just great.
Oh, thank you so much. So, firstly, love the new single.
Thank you.
Did a whole thing with it the last time I was doing something. But I mean, every time you make us happy, so really excited with that one.
Thank you.
Love it.
Thank you.
So tell us.
Yes.
Speak to the students.
Yes.
What inspired you to pursue a career in music? And were there any specific artists or experiences or maybe even a moment that influenced your decision?
Oh, nice question. I think it was watching the Spice Girls movie was the moment.
I love Spice Girls.
Yeah, to be fair, it was Spice World, the movie.
Yeah.
I think that sparked it. And definitely listening to too much Tamia, too much Cher, too much Britney Spears. I was sold. I thought it looked so cool. And I ended up chasing after it for a very long time. I'm still chasing after it, yeah.
That's incredible. But did you also have people who would say you have an incredible voice? Or was it just a thing of, it looks so cool, and then you're like, actually, I have an incredible voice?
I think they said that, but I don't know if it's because I had an incredible voice or because I just made everyone listen to me sing.
Yeah.
I think when you're very young, and you're passionate about something, you're very bold about it. So I think I sang a lot, and then eventually everyone was like, fine.
Fine, we like your voice.
We love it.
We love it. Do it anyway.
I was quite annoying, yeah.
So, but the music industry, entertainment industry as a whole is really tough to get your big break. What were some of the hurdles you came across in the beginning and how did you overcome them?
I think there's been lots of hurdles. The main hurdle, I think, was just the expectation of overnight success. And how there is no such thing. So that kind of sucks. And overnight success is not literally overnight success. It could look like doing a show for 6 weeks and, getting a lot of, at the time it was Twitter, getting a lot of Twitter followers and feeling like, I've made it. When really there's still a whole lot more work that goes into being an artist. So I think the biggest hurdle was mindset, I guess, thinking that things could happen within a span of 6 months to a year, when actually it's just a very long journey and a never-ending journey. I think the next hurdle would be, that was very, I guess, prominent, would be self-doubt, and just constantly thinking you suck and trying to overcome that. But those are my two main. Yeah,
sure.
Yeah.
I think that's so powerful. And the first one you mentioned, expectation.
Yeah.
When you're kind of like, no, in a year, I should have this.
100%.
And then it takes you 6 years.
Oof.
And then the doubt starts to come in that
Yeah.
actually maybe I'm just not good enough for this. And also you get broke.
Yes.
So there's
very
also
quickly.
so there's also the financial side of things.
Yeah.
And I think what keeps you going is the passion through it all. Because if
Yeah.
you don't have the money, you still haven't landed.
Yes.
And now you doubt yourself.
Yeah.
The passion is really the only thing that kind of, I think, would drive you.
Yeah.
And also, another thing you mentioned, Twitter.
Yes.
Oh gosh, I'm so scared of Twitter.
Oh, it's such a scary place. I don't go there
I can't
anymore. But back then it
so
wasn't
toxic.
TikTok, it was Twitter,
And they can be so ugly to artists, especially to people within the entertainment industry.
They're so horrible.
I had an incident. I don't know if you've ever had an incident.
I have. What was your incident? Let's share.
So my incident, I was on stage emceeing, and whoever took a picture, the picture was very questionable.
Oh no.
And it was a whole thing.
Oh no.
And somebody now started a hashtag leave her alone.
No. I'm sorry.
I have never in my life been so devastated. It took me a good 6 months to get over that.
It's crazy, hey?
And I don't think, you know, a lot of people realize
The damage.
the damage
Yeah.
a simple ugly post
Yep.
can really do to you, and it
Yep.
messes with your self-esteem.
Yep.
You lose confidence. I needed to rebuild myself. I cried. I was so mad.
Yeah.
What was yours?
Mine was, I commented on a tweet about Casper New Vest.
Yeah.
I don't know. I said something. I was like, I basically was like, I'm not going to fill up the dome or something. Oh my goodness. They killed me. And at the time it was like, Casper. And I don't know, they were putting like pictures of like flat bums and like, it was so traumatizing.
It is traumatizing.
It was so traumatizing. Yeah. I've had many other moments, but
You eventually, you get a like tough skin, and you eventually just get over it.
yeah.
You know, but the first one will always hit the most
first
because you can't believe it. I remember telling a friend of mine who's also in the industry, and she was like, just stop looking at the comments.
Yeah.
Just leave it.
That's literally what you have to do.
But I would go in there every 20 minutes.
Oh, no, and beat yourself up.
It was just a difficult time.
Yeah, I feel that.
But then how do you stay true to your artistic vision while you're navigating the demands and, of course, the expectation of the music industry?
You know, I think, so personally where I am right now today, I think I'm in a space where my artistic vision comes first, because I have to, like you said, keep the passion alive, stay dedicated, stay motivated, stay happy, in love, confident with the craft. So I have to do what I like to do and what I love to do and serve that. Whether it serves what the demand is or not. But I think what's also important is to acknowledge the demand and try and see if you can give a bit of both.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So there's also the thing of monetizing in the industry. Yeah.
Gosh.
So how do you monetize your artistry without giving up who you are in the process? We've seen many do that.
Look, money is important. Money is important.
It is.
It is important. Money
It's
is
a tricky one, thin line.
It's such a thin line because there's a lot of random things I do, and I think, gosh, I wish I didn't have to do this, but I have to pay bills. I was saying to my friend this morning, I was like, what would I do without the random show that I did that I really didn't want to do? But at the end of the day, it pays for studio, and studio pays for music. So I think there is a fine line between trying to compromise yourself, but also understanding that you are still making money off of you being you.
Yeah.
And you should give yourself props to that. And remember, people make money doing crazier things.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Always think of like, you know, people are doing other things that are not as glamorous either.
Yeah.
We all have to kind of do weird things sometimes, so you're not alone. Yeah.
I think that's so interesting. And a lot of people, when we look at the entertainment industry or the music industry, don't realize that you have to do so many other things apart from that one thing that you're
love.
Passionate about.
Yeah.
But you need other, you know, forms of income just so that you can, you know,
do the thing that makes you happy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I'm glad you mentioned it because, for an example, a student who now wants to pursue a career in music needs to know this beforehand. And luckily, we're having this conversation so they are mentally prepared to understand it's not going to be glitz and glam. Oh, yes, the industry, it looks like glitz and glam.
No, it's not.
And it's not.
Yeah.
It's a lot of hard work. It's a lot of tears.
Yeah.
It's a lot of moments of actually wanting to give up sometimes.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. So, yeah, I think it's reminding me of school where also my school is very similar to this school. And my teacher constantly told us that you can be at your peak of your career and changing in a bathroom or at the back of a car or doing your makeup, you know what I mean? And it's the truth, you know. It's the ugly truth, but you will not always have a dressing room with bulbed mirror and, you know, still sparkling for choice water. And I think it's just being prepared for that.
Yeah.
Because at the same time, There's also a thrill in changing at a one stop
Absolutely.
before you get to the show. There's also a thrill in it. I think it's just really the way you look at things. You can look at it and acknowledge that, yeah, this isn't it. You know what I mean? Because it's not. But at the end of the day, you can also think, this is so much fun. This is crazy. This is going to be a part of my come up story. Yeah, there's many ways to look at it, but it's weird.
So while you're all excited on the road, getting ready for the next event, tell us about your songwriting process and where do you draw inspiration from, and how do you translate your ideas into finished songs?
My inspiration comes from life, living. So it's important for me to live. I think I generally take so much time to release music because I spend a lot of time living and experiencing and watching other people live, observing. I think being a good artist is also being a good observer, and being able to contextualize what other people are going through and being able to empathize with what other people are going through. It's kind of like being an astrologer. But in order for me to make good music, I need to take time back. And then I'm ready to share. And then I go and I just kind of overshare on the microphone. Overshare. And I get stuck a lot. And that's when I'll maybe potentially call in someone that I trust also, that's a good writer, and get their opinion. Another thing about art is that it's also a collaborative process. You don't have to do everything alone. It's not a sign of strength. So that's really my process, is to go out, have a lot of fun, have a lot of heartbreak, go through a lot, come back to the studio.
Translate it through music.
Sing it, sift through what works, try and put it together,
So on one of my shows, I do a feature called Behind the Lyric, which I absolutely love because it's like a deep dive into the meaning and the history behind lyrics. You've just dropped the new single, Risk. Tell me the meaning, the history behind that. Let's do a little Behind the Lyric with that.
Risk was so much fun. I did Risk at Songwriting Camp, which is another great way of making music. So there was about 3 other writers in the room, 2 other producers, and that really started off of a melody. A lot of songwriters like myself, I think a lot of singer-songwriters like myself, we lead with the melody. So we sing the melody first with made-up words or whatever, and then the writers in the room, including myself, will try to figure out, it sounded like you said Risk, or it sounded like you said, and we start just talking and laughing and going into it, and then we started speaking about bungee with my heart, and then we were like, we don't want anyone to jump like off a cliff with our heart, and somehow you end up piecing together a song in the most weirdest way, and that's really was Risk. Risk was such a beautiful afternoon. I literally remember the sun setting while we were writing that song in Cape Town, and Risk is really just about, like I say, with questions off of Trouble in Paradise, the older I get, the harder it is for me to just do something. I question everything I do. I'm always so afraid of making the wrong decision. So Risk is really about being afraid but doing it anyway when it comes to love.
I love it.
Yay!
Goosebumps.
It's a simple pop song, but deep.
But
always deep.
You always get the deep end of it when you go behind the lyric, and you get such a better understanding. And I promise you, after you get that part, when you listen to the song again, you listen to it with a different form.
Can I say something weird?
Yeah.
Do you know that No Air by Chris Brown and Jordan Sparks, old song?
Yes, love it.
These are very young students, old song. But it's about aliens. I know.
But I think we interpret it completely differently.
We interpret it completely differently. So I think go back, listen to it. It's about aliens falling in love.
Okay, I'm actually going to go back and listen to it. So how do you approach collab with other musicians or songwriters? And what is it that you find most rewarding about working with others creatively?
Collabs, I always start with artists that I'm obsessed with. So I think when I came into the industry, I was super obsessed with Mauritian. Just obsessed with Jamali. Obsessed with Love Me For Me and
Yes.
everything that they did. And I got the chance to meet her, and I immediately knew I wanted to collaborate with her. So I think it starts by loving an artist and wanting to work with them and mix your worlds. And then I think I'm just obsessed with female collaborations. I'm obsessed with trying to connect myself to territories that I'm not necessarily in. So trying to not go for the most obvious collaborations. So on my previous album, it was with a young lady by the name of Beatty from Kenya. And with this one, it's Molly, and she's from Ghana. So I really just like to do something that's completely left and different all the time. But that has meaning, and I think it's important for women on our continent to come together. So outside of being totally obsessed with artists, I also like to go across the border a little bit, yeah.
That's beautiful. And how would you describe your musical style and themes or the messages that resonate most with your songwriting process?
Love, 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 love,
Relationship,
love, love, relationship,
relationship.
situationship.
Mujolo.
Yeah, that's it. And self-love.
Beautiful.
Inspired by love, writes about love. Yeah, and the style, I think it's just a combination of pop lyrics, R&B style, vocal.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I like to put R&B and pop together.
So, I mean, music is creative, but there's also the business side of music. So how do you balance the creative aspects of being a musician with the business side of managing a music career?
I think goes back to collaboration, making sure that you consistently have people in your circle that are business minded, and can pick up the slack where you lack. I have a lot of people around me that are better than me in certain things, just so that I don't drop the ball. So I think it's important community is important. Know your community. Have those friends that are lawyers, that are accountants, don't just hang out with your film school friends. They're cool. They're cool for creating, but you also need business-minded people. And there's people that are in love with numbers, and there's people that are obsessed with strategy. And it's important to be around those people. So step outside your comfort zone, I guess. Meet other people. Yeah.
No, absolutely. I mean, as a creative, I just want to tap onto the fact that we kind of like contract workers, freelancers.
Yeah.
So now if you start having a team of people who are accountants, lawyers, these are people that can kind of help you prepare for certain things, like
100%.
Buying a house.
Yeah.
Like getting
And
into,
encourage you.
to
buy a house.
Yes, and tell you how to do it as a
Yeah.
freelance, because obviously you're not permanently employed.
Yes.
You don't have a pay slip.
Yes.
So there's all those nitty-gritties as well that I think we don't talk about enough. And you land up being in the entertainment industry, whether in music or any creative aspect.
So important.
And you are like, oh. And then now all of a sudden you want to buy a house, or you want to rent, and they're like, well, where's your pay slip?
Yeah, and you haven't been taking pay slips, you've been collecting money in cash or not putting things on the record. So it's important to have people around you that can...
There's the tax issue.
Yeah, there's the tax issue. And trust me, like, it doesn't need to be an elderly person. And I know elderly is like 29 for you guys, but like, it can literally be a schoolmate that's second year studying law or tax or income.
Yes.
You literally just need to share information with people around you. Yeah.
So what advice would you give to aspiring musicians who are trying to navigate within the music industry or career in the arts while staying true to their artistic vision?
I think that it's beautiful that you want to. I think it's beautiful that you want to have a career in music. Music is a very, very lucrative business when you get it right. And I congratulate you. Well done on choosing music. Well done on being so brave and bold. And I would say just just know that there's more to music than being behind the mic. There's more to music than being a producer. There's more to music than being a songwriter. There's so many ways that this beautiful medium can give back to you financially without you having to constantly be maybe the face of it all. Yeah,
beautiful. So building a career in the arts is emotionally taxing, and I think we've kind of spoken about this at length. How do you maintain resilience in the face of criticism, in the face of rejection, or any other setbacks?
I don't know how resilient I am. How do I remain resilient? Look, I'm blessed to have people that believe in me, family that believe in me, friends that believe in me through all seasons. So I would say it's not an external thing, but I would say make sure you have a beautiful, supportive system around you. And secondly, if you go to bed thinking about it and you wake up thinking about it, you know, and you wake up alive, it's on your heart, you have a new day, fresh day to try and make it happen. And the older I get, the more I realize that it's in the journey and it's not in the destination, as cliche as that sounds. But
valid.
It's really not about the destination. It's what you're doing along the way, who you meet, the experiences you have, changing in the bathroom, things that things that will never happen again. Like, that's what it's really about. So I would just encourage you to believe in yourself and just believe in that knocking on your heart, because that's me when it comes to music. I've tried to run away from it 100 times, but if I go to bed thinking about it and wake up thinking about it, I will continue to try and pursue it every day. I don't think it's something that you should give up on so easily. There's no length of time that it takes to make it. So I think just keep going.
You speak of a support system. Were you supported by your family, by your parents when you said, I want to get into the music industry? I know, parents have this thing of saying, the arts, you're going to suffer, you're not going to get paid. Do something that's a backup and then do this later. So what was the reaction from your family when you decided that, listen, this is my path, I'm passionate about this, I am going in there?
My parents have always been super supportive. They just wanted me to study. I didn't want to study, and they were like, there's no way. There's no way. So I think I've always been super supported, and I think I've also tried to encourage my auntie and uncle, just a random, because my cousin is doing makeup at the moment and she's 21 or 22, and I think they're like, how will she survive? And I'm like, babe, I struggle to book a makeup artist every weekend. It is worth it. If she loves to do makeup,
it's expensive.
It is expensive. She can definitely make a career out of it. So I would say yes, I've had a very supportive family, which I think is a blessing. I know not everyone has.
So are there any mentors, fellow musicians, you can name drop if you'd like, who have had a significant impact on your career? And if so, how have they influenced you thus far?
I would say a big blueprint for me has been the late AKA. Just always for everything. I think how he had his team, how he had a band, how he rehearsed for every show. Sure. There's small nuances and small things that I picked up from him that I don't think. I owe a lot to him for how I structured things. Yeah. And when you go back and look at how he works with people, just great, just amazing. So I think I would say AKA, I would say Lyra. I haven't gotten there yet. Loved her, and she was just basically like Beyonce in my eyes growing up. Her live concert DVDs, just things that people still haven't achieved yet to date that she's done.
Yes.
So Lyra is definitely one of them. And there's so many more. There's so many more.
Yeah. No, that's beautiful. I love Lyra. makes me believe that I can sing. So I can't sing to save my life. Okay, let's start there. I am bad. Like,
your tone is beautiful. I don't believe
but
you.
But everybody thinks that I can sing.
Yeah, because you have a beautiful tone.
I can't.
Really?
My child owes it to me. It's the least that
they must try something.
So, can you share any experiences? This is my last question to you, just before I let you go.
Okay.
Where you felt, empowered or challenged by your identity as a woman in the music industry?
I think constantly. It's an ongoing thing. Being challenged.
Yeah.
But I can't actually share a specific moment with you. If I'm being honest, I can't remember. But I told you earlier,
well,
my mind is just, it's half with me, half in studio. A little bit of it is with my family.
And a bit here now.
And a bit here with now. But to be fair, I'm constantly challenging myself, and I'm constantly challenging clients, and maybe it's not great, but I'm constantly challenging people to see me as a person and as an artist. And I tend to lead with my masculine energy whenever I'm at work.
I love it for you.
I know, I love it for me too. Very comfortable with my masculine. But at the same time, I would like to definitely get to a place where I can lead, love, sing, interact with my feminine, do business with my feminine energy. I think these spaces need that. They need to be run with love and compassion. So I'm also trying to implement that. It's hard. Yeah.
I think you're doing it beautifully.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much
today.
for having me. Thank you. I'm honored. Thank you.
I think we could do this like the whole day.
I know. I'm a chatter.
Well, there you have it. So if you are interested in pursuing a career in the music industry, I think you've heard it all from Shekhinah. Firstly, there's hard work, there's resilience, and you need to embrace the journey. Until next time, stay creative.